2019 SLP Dream Team, which does in large parts mirror the actual Dream Team, but there are a few
aberrations.
Departures.
Aberrations, yeah.
We'll pick up as we go along. I'll start with the fullback position, earning 52% of all the votes cast. It was St Helens' Ben Barber.
What a surprise!
Yeah, I'm almost certain I voted for him. So
I'm pretty sure I did as well.
Yeah.
In terms of on the wing, we've got Tom Johnston or Johnstone or Jewstone or whatever he is this week on 60%. And Josh Charnley getting 58%, so not a huge surprise there.
No, Josh Charnley is just obviously edging out the world's best player, Tommy Makinson.
Yeah. The best international player.
Best international player is what the award now is given for, but obviously that memo that they've changed the entire criteria for award over the last couple of years didn't really filter through.
Well, it certainly didn't reach Australia, did it?
No, it did not. Yeah, I mean, this was really a 3-horse race from the start on the voting. Charnley jumping in there and being the first difference to the official Super League Dream Team, and I think well deserved. We'll talk a little bit more about Josh Charnley later on, actually, in some of the other awards. Into the centres, and with a huge 81% of the votes cast, Bill Tupu was your first centre, and with 75% of the vote, and retaining his SLP Dream Team place from 2017, which was the first year that we did the listener voted Dream Team, so he's the only 100% record in that. It is Mark Percival. So yeah, you tend to see in the...
Oh, Mark Percival still exists. Oh,
yeah, you tend to see in the two... Well, you'd know he'd still exist if you followed any Saints fans on Twitter, because they keep reminding us, no matter how many match-winning performances get turned in by centres chosen ahead of him for England. But Tupu and Percival, yeah, with huge shares of the votes, totally recognising that they were outstanding performers in their positions. We do tend to find that with the ones where people had two choices for the positions rather than just one, you do get a higher percentage. So Ben Barber with 52%, actually, that's really impressive for a one position. For one person position, but 81% is huge. So well done to those two, and I'd have gone those two. So great work.
Yeah, can't argue much with that. Next one, which you could argue with, is a standoff Johnny Lomax on 42%.
Yep, and then his halfback partner, the scrum half chosen by you, the listeners, was Danny Richardson, also with 42%. So yeah, both of those. I think Lomax was clear of the others who split the votes pretty evenly. Richardson was in a 2-horse race almost with Jake Truman, and so edged out. So well done to him there.
Yeah, and props now. This is a big one and well deserved. Luke Thompson getting 81% of the vote, and next nearest was Remy Casti with just 29%.
Yeah, so we matched the Super League Dream Team that was announced towards the end of the season. 29% is a really, really low percentage for...
That's the lowest of anyone getting in this year.
Two voted category. This was spread around the other 5 people outside of Luke Thompson, who almost everyone went for. And in fact, if you didn't vote for him, I think you must be blinkered and you've gone for whoever plays for your team and whoever...
Even the Wigan fans voted for him.
I don't understand it. He was by far and away the best prop in the competition, and this voting recognises that. To be fair, Remy Casti edged out people like David Fafita, Liam Watts. They were close in the reckoning.
But yeah, if you think about it, it is Luke Thompson first and Daylight second. And to be fair, with his work rate, he could probably cover both positions quite adequately anyway.
Yeah, I went for David Fafita as my second. I think, because he was injured the last 3 or 4 rounds of the Super 8s, and Wakefield kind of obviously weren't hugely relevant in the wrap-up of the season, given that they were not going to make the semi-finals from some way out. I think his influence over the season for that side has been a little bit forgotten by the time the votes were cast, which is a shame in my view, but Remy Castille, of course, had some standout moments, particularly in that cup run. Particularly, July and August were fantastic months for Remy Castille. So well done to him. In the hooker position, a 2-horse race, as you would expect, I think, this year after things went. But the winner, with 48% of the vote, was St Helens James Roby, Mr. Consistent.
Very, very much deserved, in my opinion. Definitely who I went for. There's just no one else in my book, but obviously other people did think differently.
Paul McShane had over 40% of the vote too, so it was pretty much a 2-horse race in that one. No, he didn't have over 40% of the vote. He had nearly 40% of the vote, sorry. It was pretty much a 2-horse race in that one. Into the second row then, Tim. Who got those places?
Yeah, so with a whopping 90% of the vote, John Bateman. And
that's a record. That's the highest we've had of any player in any position for the SLP Dream Team.
Yeah, and well-deserved and record-breaking in many respects, and doing it well, and he's going to be great when he goes down under. I think he's going to really cut it, because I think he's definitely an international superstar.
Yeah, he really does play above his size and weight and expectation. When you see him, he seems so unassuming. He shared some stuff from the day he was signed at Wigan, and he just looked like this skinny little kid who had a long way to go. You felt, but a lot of potential to get there, and he's delivered on that potential more than fivefold in the 5 years he's been at Wigan. Yeah.
Backing him up as his partner is none other than Mr. Oliver Holmes on 35%.
Yeah, and do you know what? I can understand why people have gone for that. I went for Zeb Taylor as my second choice.
Your spare tyre, yep.
But Oliver Holmes did have some real highlight reel plays towards the back end of the season. And whilst the voting was open, he had a pretty decent appearance for England against France, didn't he? Which
he did, yeah.
Anything for him.
No, for the 4 people that saw that performance against France, I'm sure they definitely included that in their voting.
Well, maybe that was like when his try was scored was one of the brief moments where the stream was working. Who knows? At loose forward, possibly the most contentious. Another one who with a relatively low percentage of the vote, but loose forward's always contentious nowadays.
Because there aren't any, yeah.
Yeah, given that we're not sure there are any really anymore. Anyway, the winner was the England international Adam Milner with 35% of the votes.
Yeah, I mean, if international now means come on, run around a bit, make 2 tackles and then get smacked in the face and go off again, then yeah.
Look, there's no doubt in that Adam Milner doesn't jump off the screen when you're watching a game. And there's no doubt in that when you're a fan of his as well, of his side, he's the kind of player, if you're just an average Joe in the stand, he's the kind of player who isn't hugely naturally gifted in any area. So it's his tenacity and his effort and his endeavour and his work rate, and it's the kind of stuff you as a fan would want to put into yourself on the pitch, that level of passion and enthusiasm that jumps out from Adam Milner. So it's not a surprise, particularly that his own supporters would vote for him. So I think there's merit in that vote. I'll have gone Sean O'Loughlin, even though he only played just over half the games in the season.
Even I would have gone Sean O'Loughlin.
Yeah. Can you remember who you went with?
I think it was Sean.
Will have been Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, who, if this vote was done at halfway through the season, probably would have got it. And who even was the last choice? Oh, Ryan Hinchcliffe.
Okay, I would have gone Sean O'Loughlin, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Right, let's move on then to the individual awards. The first award is 2018's One-Off Special, which is the...
Well, let's hope it's a one-off. Let's hope we don't repeat this one again.
In the year of the chairman's statement, we decided to bring out an award for the chairman's statement of the year. There was 4 options for you all to choose from alphabetically. Batley's drunken outburst after Robert Elston's first press conference.
Written by the pool, yeah.
Bradford and Workington's joint kind of well, not joint, sorry, opposing statements over Streamgate
Ding dong, if you will.
the season. Featherstone, after the result of the structure vote, basically kind of undoing any sort of positivity about working together and wanting to pick up the toys and take them home. And then Hull FC and Hull KR making their joint statement before the structure vote, which kind of posed us a "we're united and you better get on board, you lot, otherwise you're not coming along with the sport."
If even we can agree, then you should be doing whatever we say.
Yeah. So do you want to take us through, Tim, how that panned out?
Yep. So in fourth place we have the Hull FC Hull KR joint statement before the structure vote. In third place we get Fev's one after the result of the structure vote, so before and after. In second place, I'm gutted to say this, Batley after Robert Elston's first press conference, and the winner of the 2018 Super League Pod Chairman's Statement of the Year goes to Bradford and Workington for their ding-dong over Streamgate.
And you know what? It possibly was the most vitriol-filled in total question of integrity. So there is. They should be proud of themselves for what they delivered.
And now we stream everything. Now you can't find anything that's not been streamed somewhere.
Exactly. Any game where there's less than 500 people there will be on our league. In terms of how we went individually, I went for the Featherstone one. I just thought it was an absolute reversal of everything that everyone else was saying that day when they basically said, let's out all the people who voted against it. They're the enemies of the sport, to paraphrase things there. What about you, Tim? You went with?
I went with Batley. I went for the comedy, and it was just the sheer hilarity of it.
When a guy has clearly had a whiskey chaser with each of his 10 pints before he's done his statement, you know that there's entertainment value there.
Is it the Batley chairman that looks like an older version of what's his name of Ian Lenigan? Is that the Batley chairman or is that the Dewsbury chairman? I can never remember which end of the road it is.
No, the Dewsbury chairman's a bit more heavily set, so I think it must be the Batley one. Kind of like that. They both like they're brothers, and one of them went into a trade and one of them went into finance. Yeah. Just in the way they approach things. One is a lot more blunt force, and the other one is a little bit more circumspect.
There was one of them that was playing prop in his youth, and there was another one who was at fullback. Right. On to our next award, Match Official of the Year.
Yeah, this was another new award for 2018. Here at the Super League Pod, we do want to recognise our match officials. This was awarded from an open vote with no shortlist because we didn't want to rule out any of our wonderful match officials from being involved. Now, people will be very, very surprised at the outcome of this, I feel, Tim.
I think so, yeah.
In third place was James Child, touch judge, of course,
Childs,
in the international series.
Yeah. Did anyone vote for James Childs?
If they did, I changed it to neaten it up so that I could count the votes through a formula on a spreadsheet, Tim. So I'm not picking on anyone if they did. Someone probably did the whole James Child then in brackets S just because it's funny to wind Mark up. Ha 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 ha. In second place is Chris Kendall, who I think has had a real strong breakthrough season.
I think he's been excellent. I think he's been really good, and he's the first one of this next group coming along who sort of cemented their place. And I think the good thing with him is his control of the game. Like when things are flaring up and when players are going at each other, he's very good at quietly controlling. He doesn't get too showy and go and start really demonstrating. He's very calm and doesn't snap. Like you see some referees, particularly sort of 5-10 years ago, would
bite back.
Would either bite back verbally or would get the cards out straight and just go, "Oh, get away with you." But he's much more measured in that, which I think is all the credit to him.
Yeah, and me, you, and Alan are sort of from the hosting panel all went with Chris Kendall for that award. The joint winners for this were Ben Thaler and Robert Hicks. So
very good.
Well done to both of those.
Yeah. So
Hicks obviously was rewarded not just with the joint winner of the Super League Pod referee match official of the year, but also with the grand final
and the Challenge Cup final.